Hey everyone, so this is the 2025 Motorola Edge. This is normally supposed to be 550 bucks here in the US. I only paid 220 bucks for it used, very slightly used. These things are always on sale, so I would not buy it at full price. You should be able to get a discount on them if you just wait a week or two, if they are on full price. Being a Motorola, they are always on sale, it seems like. This is a really sweet green with the vegan leather here. You see it has a whole bunch of different cameras, which we'll come back to in just a moment. And then looking around this is a pretty thin device in your hand, especially without a case. It feels even thinner than it actually is because of the curved display on it. But it just feels really good in the hand. It feels nice and thin, does not feel very thick. So of course we have our volume rocker, our power button there, our speakers, which we'll come back to in a bit here. I'll show those off. USB Type-C, our SIM card ejector, our SIM card goes under there. As you guys can see right here, there's a small indent. So when you pop this out, you actually have a spot to put your fingernail and pop it all the way out. Very cool. I don't think I've seen that on other phones. I just never noticed it. Mic. Then up here we have this button here, which can be used to activate the Moto AI if you want. And then we have a mic there and a mic up there. Of course, we have a speaker and camera. And then we of course have, like I said, down here is the other speaker. Going over a few of the specs real fast. This is a 6.7-inch device, display device, and it is again curved. I know some people do not like that, some people do. To me, it doesn't bother me at all. 50 megapixel 2160p camera on it, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage. It has a massive 5200 milliamp battery in it as well. Of course, this is going to be a 5G phone, and I've had no issues with this whatsoever, at least not in my area here in Illinois, in the US. Using Verizon, I've had 5G pretty much anywhere I went and had no issues with it. Only weighs 181 grams, which is crazy light for this big of a phone. And if you guys want to see, the dimensions are right there as well. Alright, and then of course it has a whole bunch of different resistances, water resistant, dust resistant, all that good stuff. P OLED display. Again, very nice. Corning Gorilla Glass 7 there as well, 7i actually. And then it comes with Android 15. And then the chipset in here is MediaTek Dimensity 7400, and I've had no issues with this whatsoever. Unless this is side by side to a flagship phone, I honestly do not really notice much of a difference with it. It is not that much slower or less powerful for my use compared to a flagship phone. Alright, now I'm just going to go into some of these apps so you guys can see how fast this loads in. Go ahead and turn down this volume all the way. Like I said, we'll come back to the speakers in just a moment here. But if we go into like Monster Hunter now, which of course is a game, of course games do take a bit longer to load in. Again, this thing loads in pretty dang fast though. And again, it's not going to be as fast as like a high-end flagship phone. This is a mid-tier phone, but it loads in quite well. I also want to note too, what you guys see in the video, it definitely looks better in real life. Like the colors and everything on here just look a lot better than we guys would see through the video. The display in here is awesome. But let's go ahead and we'll just hunt one of these little guys here. Again, I've had no issues. It just works very well. I'm not going to go ahead and any of them. Is just going to kick my buns in. I did a Roblox gaming video if you guys want to see that, but this was hitting 60 frames per second, at least in Arsenal, even on max graphics. Again, no issues on this. This actually plays Roblox a lot better than my Google Pixel 8 Pro does. That still has some issues with Roblox for some reason, just not optimized. This has no issues with Roblox at all. Going into normal apps like Facebook or media social apps like Facebook here, kind of your more basic apps, this does not have any issues. Again, this really is an awesome phone. Again, I would recommend waiting for it to go on sale or picking one up used if you're able to do so. But it's just fast. Everything you do on this phone is fast. Everything just works. It just does what it's supposed to do. Let's go ahead, we'll do a quick speaker test here. So we'll go in here, and again, you can see how fast this just loads in. And then we'll do another song. So it just sounds really good. I must have hit something there to make that music keep popping up. That was those words. But anyway, it sounds very, very good. It gets nice and loud. Again, this is a very, very good phone. I would highly recommend. Talk about the camera here. This is one of Motorola's more or less shortcomings. It's going to be their camera. It's just not going to be as good as something like the Google Pixels or the Samsung or iPhone. But I think for most people, it is going to be just fine. And we can see here if we zoom in all the way, it does 30 times zoom, and then down to half zoom, 0.5 zoom, and also has a macro lens on it as well. And again, I think it all works very well here for my use, which is not really a whole lot here, except for taking pictures of things to sell. But other than that, you can do 60 frames per second, you can do 4K. 4K is only 3 frames per second. You do Full HD. You can do a whole bunch of options. I'm not really a camera guy, but from what I've seen, it works just fine. Again, really no issues. It just isn't going to be as good as some other phones out there, especially flagship phones. But again, this is a mid-tier phone. These are the scores from Geekbench 6. They're not that high, but again, I don't 100% trust these numbers anyway. Because again, this phone, I've said a million times now, it's just really good. I think especially for if you would get this thing on sale for say 450 bucks, this thing is a very, very good phone. The 550, I don't know, but for around 450 bucks, I think this is a fantastic phone. Another thing that's kind of an issue with Motorola though is going to be their updates. For most of their phones, you just do not get a whole lot of updates, or not as many updates as you would, again, from, say, Samsung, Google, Apple. Some of the phones, you only get like 1 or 2 years of updates, UI updates. So that is something to keep in mind. And as we can see here from Google's AI, this phone will only get 2 years of OS updates. I think I said UI updates. I'm going to say OS updates, and then 3 years of security updates. So it's not too many years of updates, which is a bit disappointing, because again, this phone is, I think, good enough to be able to keep getting those updates, but that is how Motorola does their thing. Most of their phones only get a year or 2 of updates. All in all though, I highly recommend this phone. It is a fantastic phone, especially if you like a curved display. Kind of makes the bigger phone not feel quite as big in the hand, and it also makes it just feel a bit thinner than it actually is, because your hands are actually just on the rails here, and you don't really touch the back or the front, which bulges out a little bit more. I really like this thing. It looks fantastic. The back feels so good. Like the vegan leather just feels so nice. All in all, this is a fantastic phone. One I would highly recommend, especially if you get it on sale or used like I did. But you guys let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.